Hey, okay, I have that we are exactly 4:30 plus 15 seconds. Are we ready to start, Cheryl?
Just have to move my seat.
Okay. Let's say when and we'll get going.
Okay,
Okay?
oh
All
no.
right.
Yeah, we'll see.
Okay, Madam Chair.
All right, are we set?
We have a number of folks here at Skagit Station, and folks are coming in on Zoom.
Very good. We'll just let it go another couple minutes. Just let me know when everybody's in and we'll get started. And I'm sorry I'm not in person with you guys. Some of my long COVID stuff came back over the weekend and it's getting better. So the good news is that it's lightening up. And one of these days it just won't return. So I'm very happy about that. Onward and upward.
That is good news for sure, Judy.
Yeah, hey, I'll take it. Okay, is everybody in this so far on Zoom that's going to get in, or are you busy with that?
Um, Everybody looks in at this point in time.
Okay, very good. Yes?
I just saw Chris.
Okay, all right. Well, very good. Let's go ahead and call the meeting to order on this day of July 9. And Cheryl, would you like to do the roll call or would you like me to go ahead and do it for you since it sounds like you might have your hands full, whichever you prefer?
Oh, I'm happy to do it.
Okay, proceed with the roll call if you would.
All right. Doris. I don't see her on screen, and she said she'd probably zoom in, so not
Okay.
at this moment. BJ Carroll is excused.
Okay. Yeah, she did email me.
Um, Louise is coming through a different way, but she's coming in.
Okay.
Craig is absent.
Okay.
Robin Gosney.
I'm here.
Good. Welcome.
Chris Jones.
Here.
Judy Jones.
And here.
John Norman.
Here.
Good to have you, John.
Monette Parton. I don't see her.
Okay.
Dick Phillips.
Here.
Wonderful.
Valerie Rose. I don't see her on the screen. Dave Stevens.
Here.
Present.
Hey, Dave. Yay.
And Daniel thought he would
Young.
zoom in. I
Okay.
don't see him yet, though.
All right. And Ray.
And then Irene. Present.
Wonderful. Yay. And how about Ray? Is he present?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. Ray.
Wonderful. Good to have all you guys. Thank you all for showing up. One of these days I really will come in person, honest. I will, but I appreciate you all so much showing up. And so with that, do we have any guests today?
None at Skagit Station that I'm aware of.
Okay. And any public commenters? None at the station and none online. I take it we have none. I do want to ask if Rogelio made it today, and if he did, to definitely welcome him.
Yes, he is present.
Okay, I'm glad you're coming, Rogelio. That's awesome. You are always welcome. With that, let's go ahead and go to the minutes. I had to revise these minutes. Thank you, Cheryl, for your good catches on those. So do we have any other additions or corrections to the minutes? Okay, hearing none. Does anybody like to forward a motion to accept?
I do.
You're making a motion?
Yeah, they're good.
Madam Chair, Chris Jones, I so move.
Okay. And yes, and I heard the others in the background too. Thank you very much. And any seconds?
I second.
Okay, got it. Got
Dave
it.
Stevens.
I heard that. Okay. Here it's been moved and seconded. The June minutes be approved as submitted. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. I'm assuming we had some more ayes there. Any opposed? Nay.
Dave, are you?
Is he
He was
opposing?
kidding. He was kidding.
Oh. I'm smiling over here too. My video isn't on, but I'm smiling. Gotta love you, Dave. Thank you. Okay, the minutes have been approved as submitted. Thank you all very much. And we can officially welcome Irene Prokuski. I'm saying it correctly now, I hope. She is a new member, and for the first time in the history I've had with the CAC, we have a full slate of members. So I think that is definitely due to you guys recruiting and being active and letting the word get out. And I just want to thank everybody involved on the committee to help make it what it is. This is wonderful. And Irene, we're really glad to have you.
Thank you.
No problem. So I will ask, do you have any questions or anything for the committee before we move on?
No, I'm good.
All right.
I will tell you, I had another jaunt down to, this time I went to Portland on mass transit, not all the way.
Okay.
I went to Tacoma again, but I went from the 90X to the 512 again to the Link Light Rail, stayed with a friend, then got back on, then got taken to the Amtrak station, then went down to Portland and got driven back. But yeah.
Wow. Yeah, you're a traveler extraordinaire.
Multimobile.
That's right.
Since I'm a senior, $1, and then I think I paid $2 for the whole trip.
Wow.
No, Amtrak was only $35.
Oh.
Down to Portland, yeah.
Wow, you sure didn't travel when I was planning on traveling.
Yeah. And it was nice to avoid all that traffic because it was Wednesday, the day before July 4th.
Oh, yeah.
So it was so nice not to have to get in all that mess because it was bad.
Sure. Well, I was supposed to have been in Yelm this week with Sadie, and then with my, my stuff going on, I didn't go. But that ticket for one person was $102 or no, $100.80.
That
And
was-
so, I mean, they racked up the tickets for the July 4th and after.
Where did you go? I'm sorry, where did?
I was going to go to Yelm. I was going to go from here
Oh.
to Yelm.
Oh,
That's
Yeah, down to
far.
Yelm, like, yeah. And I'm like, oh, wow, they sure raised the prices.
yeah, they-
Take advantage of the holiday, I'm sure. But
yeah, yep.
woo, yeah, it'll be nice when those go back down again. Well, it's great to have you on board, and thank you so much. I'm looking forward to working with you on the
Thank you.
committee.
Sure.
This is great.
Thanks, Judy.
All right, then, who has this next section on the working on Skagit Transit, improving websites?
So it's going to be myself. Stevie is detained. So even though it says Stevie on a few of these, we'll see how it goes. She
Okay,
may-
now is Stevie actually present today?
not at this point,
She is not at the meeting. Okay. All right.
but she hopes to join. We'll see what happens.
Okay, gotcha. Okay. I didn't mean to interrupt that with that, Cheryl, so go ahead.
Okay, she gave me some notes. So our tech department, Skagit Transit's tech department, is working on accessibility improvements on the Skagit Transit website. And currently they do not have someone on staff with the specific design knowledge to activate certain things in forms, but they're working towards it as a goal and hoping to get someone trained soon. And I think, Judy, you were helping a little bit too.
You know, I am. And I have sent them actually the WCG, the 2, which is like web certification for accessibility. I've sent them information on it, and they have had me actually test run some of the, just go in and check out some of the route, what they've done on the routes and what they've done in, just some other areas. And they have been really good. I've been really impressed with what they've done. I think what they're trying to do now is work on some of the PDF stuff. And I have also sent information on that. So I'm really glad to hear that they are also working with Stevie, that she's really in working on this and getting this done. But I've got lots of information that I can be sending. I don't want to blow up everything that they're, like their inboxes and this kind of stuff. But I do have a lot of accessibility information I could be sending them if they need it. So for Stevie, Cheryl, just let them know if they've got any other questions or need any more information. I would be glad to send them what I've got.
I'd be happy to pass that along.
Very good. Okay, thank you for that. Okay. Anybody have any questions on web accessibility? Because there's different types of accessibility. One is for screen reader users like myself. And that's kind of what I've been talking about. But for anybody who needs like color contrast, larger fonts, any kind of accessibility, do you guys have any questions on web accessibility? Are you all who get on the web able to access what you need in Skagit Transit?
Not totally. I always have some difficulty, especially if I'm getting from point to point, is identifying the point that I want to go to. Especially when it comes to like park and rides, you don't know the name of the park and ride. It would be nice, and maybe I haven't explored it enough, but it would be nice to be able to grab the some major areas, like major points of interest, like the park and rides, especially. Because you don't know if it's called Chucking Up Park and Ride. All I want to do is be able to see the park and rides along a certain area.
So
Oh.
and just visually see it as opposed to plugging
Mhm.
it into the map. And then,
Okay.
yeah, but I've had that problem, to be honest with you, with a lot of the different transit websites,
Mm-hmm.
with community transit or even King County's really tough because you've got Sounder and Link Light Rail and all those.
Oh,
But
yeah. So you're talking kind of like a point of interest thing. For instance, like when you pull up Google Maps on your phone, it shows you the points of interest and all that stuff. You're talking about that kind of interaction.
um, more specifically, the park and rides.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but yeah, maybe I don't, and maybe again, it's more the names of them that, so if you aren't putting in the exact name, you don't come up with anything like it. So in other words, let's say I wanted Chuck and Nut Park and Ride and I put in Chuck Park and Ride, it's not going to come up. So
Gotcha.
Well, yeah, how
so
about
that's
North
why
Burlington Park and Ride?
the yeah, but so again, it's the putting in the exact information to come up. So I just usually abandon the website and go to my phone and then plug in things because my phone tends to be more reliable than a website, than the Skagit Transit website, or for that matter, the community transit website and the other ones.
Mm-hmm. And again, just for my clarification, is it because on our phones they are more interactive that way? Or is it is that what we're talking about?
I wonder if it's because we're so used to our phones and not used to the Skagit Transit website. So I don't
The
know
way
if
they
yeah, because of course, the more you use something, the easier it is to use the next time and the next time.
Mm-hmm.
But we're also familiar with our phones, especially the map system on our phones. But it would be nice, I think, to be able to go to the website and be able to play around a little bit more and look at some options.
Judy, we have a
Yes.
question from Doris and Daniel just arrived.
Okay,
Yeah,
and
hi,
good to have you, Daniel. And Doris, I could hear you back there, like on this too. So this is great. And Doris, you've got a question?
Well, this kind of brings up how can we improve the website? Maybe we could ask the website design to add a park and ride guide that just lists all the park and rides and their addresses and their names and actually their locations. For example, there's 2 park and rides in Stanwood. Who knew? I mean, I personally know where they are, but there's Park and Ride 1 and Park and Ride 2. That's not
Yeah,
very helpful. One of them is in town
exactly.
and it's around the corner, like no one can ever find it if they didn't know where it was. And then the other one is on the freeway. But if you wanted to find, just like we have how many, 6 park and rides, I think it would be good to just list them and have a park and ride guide in the website. Maybe that'd be a suggestion for the web people.
Yeah, it would, especially like March Point. And then I don't have, because I kept trying to figure out how do you spell Marsh Point? Is it March? Is it March? Is it Mark? Is it and so
Yeah.
I couldn't come up with the right one. So but that's it. If there was just one map of that would identify those 6 park and rides, then we could transfer that information to the plug-in the address one.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I
But
think
I
that's a
like
really good
that.
idea.
Yeah.
Any other yeah, and these will get back to Stevie, I'm sure. This is going to go up on YouTube, of course. So and then these are going to be in the minutes, but I'll make sure that these get back to Stevie as well. So any other ideas for website improvement from anyone else?
Do they just sit a bunch of people down, do tests? When they do tests, do they just sit people down and put a computer in front and say, get from point A to point B and see how we maneuver around the website, see what kinds of problems or success we have?
I'm not
Well,
sure.
yeah, okay, so I can answer what they did with me on the little bit of screen reader accessibility testing that I have done. Is I did get contacted by Chris Chidley with IT and also with from Crystal Stidham saying that we're trying to improve accessibility on the website for screen reader users. Can you please go into this section and go in there and check how things are coming across to screen readers? So, for instance, on the routes, I went into the various routes and looked at how they had things laid out for accessibility, if I could actually access what I wanted to do. Like, for instance, if I wanted to look up a route, find out where it was going, what times it was going, could I get access that information? And I was able to access that information on my computer. And so I did let them know that I did that. Now, this is how Skagit Transit has tested for accessibility. Different entities do a lot of different things, like they'll get a focus group of people to test out, or they'll make it much more formal testing that they can quantify. Skagit Transit really hasn't done that yet. And I don't think you really see that except when you're talking larger companies, that kind of a thing, something like Google or Samsung or something like that. That's kind of how they do a lot of their accessibility testing. And they have people paid to work on just that. Skagit Transit doesn't have that at this point. They actually need it. We're an agency that's growing up. So I think that's going to be coming. But so far, this is what I have experienced. I've just been contacted for that. But I think these are some really good points, like the park and ride issue. And I don't know that comes under accessibility, but in a way, I kind of think it does, because we're talking accessible and accommodating your ridership. So I think it would, apply that way, to my way of thinking. Has Skagit Transit contacted anybody else on the committee? This might be something. Wow. Yeah. So the idea I'm having is, how would the rest of you that are online feel about Skagit Transit contacting you to test various things? Are you guys open? Well, is there anybody who is online who wouldn't be open to that? Because it could be something that we members could volunteer to do if they need some testing guinea pigs. Do we have anybody who might not be interested, or would it be okay for Stevie to contact people if they need people?
There's a couple of people that are without the device.
Correct.
To do that.
I understand that. Yeah. Like there are people who just don't have computers, and I understand that. I do. But maybe that's something I can put out to Stevie, is just contact some of our members if you need somebody to check out some things. Because, we are volunteers and we do give input. And this would be another way we could give input if you guys are open to it. Okay. Does anyone else have any comments on this portion of helping to make the website better?
I do. When,
yeah,
in addition to the park and rides in Skagit County, if the connector park and rides that we connect with, so it would be the Amtrak or the Everett station, and the Bellingham and the out of county park and rides would be nice to know where we connect to, and have that in addition to our Skagit Transits.
some of the yeah, have that as part of the guide, correct?
As part of the map, the overview map.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Very good. So, yeah, so what you're saying also too is that not only our park and ride should be named, labeled, however that is on the overview map, but the connector ones too, correct?
Yes, yeah.
Okay. All right. I've got that. Any other ideas or suggestions before we move on?
I don't know how much this is related, but I have wondered if it would be all right with each person on the committee if we at least shared our phone numbers or some means that we on the committee could get a hold of one another if we had a question or if we just needed to confirm something we're doing or whatever.
Well, like as far as communication, what you're asking if it's okay for each of us to have each other's phone numbers, correct?
Right. But I wouldn't
Okay.
want to demand it if someone just wants to withhold it.
Okay. Is there, I mean, for those of us who have emails, of course, we see each other's email addresses in the email field, but is there anyone here on the committee who would not be willing to share their phone number? And that's okay, because I just want to make sure if we're all okay, then we can make sure I can make sure everybody has all our phone numbers. But is there anybody here on the committee who does not want that to happen? It's okay. Just let me know. And I will make sure to, otherwise I'll make sure that the phone numbers are given. Anybody can have my phone number for sure. I have no problem with that. So, what I'll do is I'll send out an email and, ask about that. But is there anybody here in the meeting that is not willing to have their phone number shared? Okay. And then I will also contact Louise as well, because I want to make sure that we're doing this right. Okay, so that I'm putting that down as a suggestion that we can share phone numbers, and then I'll just make sure to tighten that up for everybody. Any other questions?
Thank you for contacting the people that aren't present today.
Sure. Okay, moving on. We've got the CAC UMO annual pass. It says it works on all ADX runs.
Yes,
Any additional information on that?
Valerie tested it.
Yay! So, do you want to let us? Well, yeah. Is Valerie on?
No, she's not here today.
Okay, she's not here. All right. So, what was the feedback, Cheryl? But it works. So, obviously, any additional?
Yeah, just go ahead and use it on any ADX. And if for some reason, I can't imagine why it doesn't work, let me know. But right now it's working.
So they got that fixed when she takes the Bellingham buses, correct?
Bellingham WTA bus.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I should have said WTA. Yeah. So that's fixed with WTA now, correct?
It's working right now, yes.
Very good. All right. This is good news.
Madam Chair,
Yes, sir.
Chris Jones, I had a question, and maybe Cheryl can confirm this. I hear what you're saying, and that's great. I know I've got an appointment up in Bellingham. I would, of course, take the ADX up there. What I think I'm trying to confirm is if I take a WTA, like a paratransit, would they also take my pass, or do I need to pay cash for that run?
It doesn't extend to paratransit to my knowledge at WTA.
Okay.
Okay.
So it's basically the ADX up and back is what you're saying from what we understand.
Yeah, ADX.
Okay. Okay. Just want to
And
confirm that. Thanks a
and
lot.
it doesn't extend to the fixed route up in Bellingham, correct? It does not extend to fixed route buses in Bellingham.
That's correct. It stops
Okay, we're
at the end of the
Okay.
line for the ADX. That's
okay, so we're talking connectors only.
yes.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you for clarifying that.
All right, very good. Any other questions for Cheryl on this UMO on this regional pass situation? I think this is awesome. Okay, hearing no other questions, let's move on to the transit development plan. Okay, and do you have notes on this, Cheryl?
Yes, madam, I have notes. I'll talk
Okay.
as clearly as I can. So, the transit development plan, if you're not familiar, it's a document that is required by the state of Washington each year. And it outlines the direction that the agency is headed for the next 6 years. So, Stevie's been working hard to revise the transit development plan document to make it a little more relevant and to serve for planning. And it's nearly complete and will be submitted to the board of directors at the July board of directors meeting. And she intends to highlight with the CAC members the information that's included, most likely next month if it's approved by the board.
Okay, so what you're saying is if her plan is approved by the board, she will be presenting this to us next month, correct?
That's correct. The other possibility is the board may want to make adjustments, and then she'll need to make the adjustments and submit it back to the board. And if that's the case, she would probably have to wait till the following month because she needs the board approval.
Okay. All right. Any questions for Cheryl on that? All right. So we will get the go on this report once it's approved by the board. Okay.
Right.
And then all right. And then the staff report, I'm taking you got that too. On here, the ridership. Did she have the ridership for this month?
I have some information on ridership.
Okay.
So, I have some highlights the total fixed route ridership for the month of June was 38,469 riders.
Okay.
And year to date, so this is 6 months by the end of June, the total ridership on fixed route is 198,433.
Okay.
So for June, there was a slight decrease in the total number of riders on fixed route. But for the year to date, we increased about 12% compared to last year. And that's the important part.
Yes. That's what I was going to ask. Okay, very good. So we had a 12% increase. Okay.
The highest ridership in the month of June took place on routes 208, which goes between Mount Vernon and Burlington.
Uh-huh.
205, which goes between Mount Vernon and Skagit Valley College, and the
Mhm.
90X that goes between Skagit
Yeah.
County and Everett.
Okay.
And then
Um,
paratransit, she said is very similar in that it's increased in about similar percentages.
on
year
the
to
year to
date.
date.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, I'm not surprised. It sounds like it's down, but it's increasing, so is what I'm getting. Is this correct? It's
Yeah.
down from pre-COVID, but it is increasing year to date.
Yes, that is right. Since COVID.
Okay. Okay. Any questions for Cheryl on the ridership? Okay. What about the long range? Well, you talked about the transit plan a little bit. The analysis and the pursuing a grant. There's update.
So this is what she gave to me, and it doesn't say the specific grant, but
Okay.
she said it's progressing, that the consultants are working towards completing what is called a Skagit Transit existing conditions report and continuing analysis, which will eventually include recommendations for service improvements, potential areas where we might have pilot projects for micro transit studies, and how to grow our regional collaborations.
Okay.
More to come, I think, on the grant portion.
Okay. I'm just busily taking notes here if I'm quiet. All right. Any questions for Cheryl on this? Okay. What about the Climate Commitment Act?
So, the Washington State Climate Commitment Act is the mechanism that allows youth 18 and under to ride for free. And she wanted to let us know that for the month of June, we had 6,837 youth riders, and they made up 17% of all ridership. That's a big deal.
It is. That is a way big deal. Okay. That is pretty awesome. So, was there any talk about that? Because I haven't heard any more about that one initiative. I think, was it 2117 that Crystal talked to us about earlier? And if that had, that initiative might have endangered the youth ridership program. Is there any mention at all about that? Because I haven't heard anything about if that's actually gotten enough signatures or what's going on with that. That initiative 2117?
It's my understanding it's going to be in the ballot in November.
Okay. Because I've heard about some others. I've been kind of watching that, but I hadn't heard about that one. Okay, so it will be on the ballot. And so we will really have to watch that because we do not want our, any funding taken away if we can at all help it on that one. And I may ask Crystal if she can come back and present to us on that in August. Any questions there or other discussions surrounding ballots or anything else from you guys? Okay, I'm not here.
Hey, Dave, Hold on just a sec.
Yes.
We just here or everywhere on the ballot.
It'll be on all ballots in Washington State.
Oh, it probably won't pass if it goes to Seattle.
Oh, yeah.
Real.
I'm not hearing any of the discussion. Cheryl, can you?
I can paraphrase.
I'm sorry, I didn't.
So, all transits are currently offering youth to ride for free if they're 18 or younger. And Irene just had a conversation with, was it King?
I was on Link. I'm sorry, I didn't have my speaker on. I was on Link Light Rail, and I asked how am I going to get my 3 grandkids from the airport on the Link Light. I'm using my one card, and he said you don't have to worry; they're free. Any kid can travel for free well, now this was Link Light Rail, so I don't know if that's all of Skagit or all of King County, but but I know it's on Link Light Rail.
Yeah, the youth pass, right. Well, there
Oh.
is some danger of this being this funding being eradicated if this passes. And I don't have the 2117 stuff pulled up right now to actually address it. Crystal came and presented to our committee a few months ago about it. There were some concerns. I think it was back last February, and she was waiting to hear more from the Washington State Transit Authority. She sits on that board. So we really should get an update on that and find out where that's going. I'd like to know. I haven't seen anything. Has anybody else seen anything on this? And then Dave said,
recently.
Okay, Doris, I'm sorry, what?
I just said I haven't seen anything new or recently.
Okay. Yeah, me either. And so Dave, you made a comment about something about it will pass if I didn't hear the rest of it.
Oh, if it goes to Seattle, it will pass.
What's that based on?
I don't know.
Oh,
You just think that it won't I was thinking that they would well, I don't know. There's a lot of things hooked into that, so that would be interesting.
So can I ask a question? What's the impact to us so right now we charge for Skagit Transit charges for children under 18? Oh, they don't.
No, they don't, because it was moved. It was actually granted through legislator through the statewide Move Ahead program is where the funding for the youth passes comes. And this happened, gosh, a couple of years ago, where youth was finally able to ride for free.
It was
something like that.
It was 1 year ago that
1 year ago?
Skagit Transit in June.
Oh dear.
Skagit
Okay.
Transit.
is
All right.
That's
It was
year round, not just the school year? It's year round?
correct. Yeah. And it was through the Move Ahead program where it was through through funding that way, where this is where this money comes from. And I don't remember the particulars, but this 2117 thing would
Initiative.
yeah, thank you. My speech here would eradicate that. And we need some updated stuff. So maybe Cheryl, that would be something maybe for our agenda for August, because we really should know about that. But okay, the Berry Dairy Days. Oh, excuse me, Doris, did you have?
No, I think it's a good idea for us to get an update on if there's any polls or anything that come up between now and August. Maybe we can just, get the information together and have a little bit of a clarification of what's going on with that.
Yeah, I think she was going to try to do that in June, and things got away from all of us. I know, I didn't think to try to get that on there. So, all right, so we can do that. All right, the Berry Dairy Days. Report
That's
on that,
me.
Cheryl? Okay.
So that's strawberries, obviously. Um, so that's Burlington's big festival. And
Yes.
we definitely took part. We were running a shuttle for that, all the days of that event.
Okay.
This year they added some features to the event, including a competition barbecue where
Uh-huh.
competitive barbecue masters come and grill, and they get points, and it's kind of like the Olympics of barbecue grilling.
Yeah.
So that was added to it this year. Skagit Transit was in the parade. So I walked the parade.
Very good. Very,
And
very cool.
we also were front and center with a information table, and had a lot of folks come by.
Very, very good.
And they
Very
ran out of
awesome.
strawberries.
Wow. Wow. I too, I did do it. I'm trying to think what was going on June the 15th, that weekend. It seems like those venues like that are really good for us as members to take place to try to help if uh if you have any Skagit Transit involvement, definitely let us know, call on us to, if you would like to have some other walkers in the parade with you guys, things like that. I think, if we can at all help Skagit Transit and represent them, I think it would be good. And you know what? I didn't do that this year. Madam Chair didn't do that. So, as things come up, Cheryl, if you can let us know in ways in which we members can participate, definitely keep it, help us keep it in the forefront.
Sure. I just want you to know it was close to 80 degrees and it was 3/4 of a mile of walking. So, take
Yeah.
that into consideration to be
Oh,
well
sure.
hydrated.
Yeah, absolutely. As with any parade, for sure. But any marketing events that do come up that, definitely let us know, like we got this coming up, and if you want to participate, this is what you guys can do to help out, let us know for sure. Okay. And then the dual language celebration in middle school, this was on June 17th.
Hello, Judy. It's Rogelio.
Yes. Hello, Rogelio.
So I did that event. It was at LaVenture Middle School in Mount Vernon. So basically, it was a resource fair for the community. We were out there distributing youth passes. So, and if anyone wanted to get a youth pass at the school, they had the chance to do so. So we're doing that at youth catered events.
Mm-hmm.
So we're just giving them information about the youth program, how they can ride for free, and if they have any questions, we can answer them there. We started to distribute UMO cards there, so like activating them there, and they're ready to go. Start riding the bus.
Oh, that's awesome.
So yeah, that was
So
basically.
you said the dual language. Are you talking Spanish and English, or are you adding another language in there too?
Right now, it's Spanish and English at the moment.
Okay. Wonderful.
Hopefully, we could get another language. Yeah, but
Yeah. So I'm going to tell on you because I'm impressed with you. One thing I found out, folks, about Rogelio is that he is also attempting to learn Ukraine, correct?
yes.
I think that is phenomenal. I think that's awesome. And how is that coming for you?
It's more difficult than I expected. Yeah.
I think the fact that you're taking it on is awesome.
I agree. I'm just the Ukrainian food person.
The food tester or the food fixer?
Whatever.
Okay, well, thank you for reporting on that. I mean, with 17% ridership in youth, something great is going on there. So that's good. Thank you so much for reporting on that. And then the neighborhood district event, what's this all about?
So this was at Everett Station, and there's a district nearby Everett Station called the neighborhood district, and we were invited to come down and be available. It was kind of a farmers market meets transportation mashup sort of event. And seems like a fair number of families were there.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, that is awesome. Any exposure we can get is really great. That sounds like a good thing for sure. Okay, lunch on the lawn. How cool is that? This was an employee appreciation event?
That's right. So
And how did that go?
that went well, I think.
How were a lot of drivers able to make it? Because I know everybody has shifts.
So
how did that work?
So how that worked is those that were working, the lunch was delivered to them this year. Instead of doing a hot lunch, we did more of a deli style lunch. So it still was tasty, even if there had been a little bit of time in transit. So each of the drivers received a lunch. And if for some reason we missed them, we put their lunch in the refrigerator with their name on it and then left them a note on their locker that there was a lunch waiting for them in the fridge.
Oh, great.
And then everyone else came out to our headquarters lawn and received lunch, and they had some games like what are those? Blow up. Oh gosh. They were like bowling balls that were inflatable with an inflatable ball that you roll on the grass.
What do they call those? Yeah. Okay.
A different form of lawn bowling than they do in Europe.
Gotcha. Oh, wow. Okay. And then the Community Connect farm worker thingy? That same kind of a marketing transit information?
Yes, I did that event as well. It was at Sakuma Farms in Burlington. It was another resource fair, this time for migrant families that work that are at the housing facilities at Sakuma Farms. So it was a huge resource fair with local what's the word I'm missing? Local agencies and organizations.
Okay.
So they were just there explaining the resources. There was games. There was a lot of giveaway items as well.
Oh, cool.
It was just us explaining to them the resources that they have available. Some are seasonal workers, so they start here in Washington and move their way down to California. So it was just supporting them and seeing and explaining to them what resources they have available when they're here in Skagit County.
Very good. Very awesome. And then, of course, we have the Lager Rodeo July 4th. That's a big one, I know. And then the mini shipwreck days, July 6th, the same kind of informational distribution events, correct?
So for Lager Rodeo, we participated in the parade. And then for the mini shipwreck days, it was kind of an extension of gathering information for the long range transit plan. It was a more casual setting. So it was actually a rummage sale
Oh, okay.
So, I Stevie and myself were there, and we were kind of near the checkout where you purchase your rummage sale items.
Yeah,
And
that's a good place to be.
yeah, and so people obviously on Guimas Island are very much interested in transportation because their livelihoods involve a ferry for transportation.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so we wanted to kind of get a sense of what they thought about long range. There were some people there who have used transit in other parts of the world, so it was a much more worldly information than what you would expect on a small island. It also
Uh-huh.
was,
Very interesting.
yeah.
Very interesting. Okay. All right. Any questions for Cheryl and Rogelio on any of these events from anybody?
So is there a way for other people to join in a future event? Like, is there like a schedule that's set, where to find that schedule and when to present yourself if you want to join and participate?
So there's information on the website. Some of these things are very last minute. So some are not. Like this one that happened on Guimas Island, I had a week notice for that one. So, but well, a lot of them are on the website.
Yeah. Okay. Is there like, I'm just wondering if there's a way that you can let us know, Cheryl, if you're going to participate, so some of us can show up and, if that's possible.
I think that it'll just depend on the event, but sure.
Sure. Okay, sure. If you can just kind of put the word out for us, just like, oh, hey, we're going to be at this event. If anyone can come, let us know. I mean, if anyone can come, here's where you can meet us or show up. Or here's where we're going to be.
Well, like we're going to the Pioneer Picnic and there's an admission fee for it, and that's August 1st.
Okay.
And it's in La Conner. We will be renting a shuttle there.
Uh-huh. Okay. So yeah, if there's a way to just kind of let us know, like in an email, some of these things as they come up, just shoot off one so that we all know and can kind of help participate and volunteer if you need volunteers for anything. If that's okay. Okay. Any connector, it was great hearing about Valerie's connector for WTA. Anybody have any other connector information?
Well, I don't have any information, but I'm just wondering if there's been any talk about adding any changes once the light rail opens in the end of August.
Cheryl, since
I
you're
know
in
we've
touch
never
with,
talked about this before.
no, never at all. Never at all. I have not,
The
you're
light
not the
rail's
only
going to
person
open in
that's been
Linwood in
asking this.
September, and I'd love us to be able to get people there in a streamlined way. And I've never heard anything more except that we're studying it. So is there any plan or anything?
It's still being studied to my knowledge. And we'll do all the changes at the same time. And that's probably going to be later in the year when we do our next change schedule, where we change routes and that sort of thing.
Well, I think it's something. So, Doris, you're not at all the only one who's asking about this. I mean, this has definitely been There was a young man at our church that was asking the same thing. And like, how's this going to work? And how's this going to feed into Skagit Transit?
Mm-hmm.
So, yep. Yeah, absolutely. It would be good to hear from Stevie. It's too bad she's not here today, but I do understand how things happen. She's got a lot that she's working through. But yeah, this is a definite question that needs to be in the forefront. So let's keep asking and keep pushing on it.
Yeah,
Um,
I wonder if they're going to rely on the link light or on the 512 to get to go
Mhm.
to get us to the link light rail.
That's what we have. And I
Yeah.
think one thing we could do would be link to the 512 schedule onto the website so people can see how their trip to Everett will quote articulate with the bus that goes to Linwood.
And I think that the 512 runs every 15 minutes, which is great. I never have to worry about catching the 512. I only have to worry about getting back to the 90X and getting home. I'm wondering if with the addition of the link light rail, if perhaps the 90X might be increased with more frequent routes or more frequent
yeah,
schedule.
how this is all going to work. Yeah. Yep.
Maybe we
Okay.
could
So
ask
that's
for an update in August about that.
okay. Yeah. There's another thing for the agenda, Cheryl. We need some information on where this is all going and how this is working out, for sure. All right. I totally agree with that. One thing I want to bring up really quickly, and this is kind of feeding into Roundtable a little bit, and I know we're getting short on time, but I'm going to be sending out information on the next Week Without Driving Challenge, and that's going to take place in late September, early October. So it's something kind of that we happened last September. And again, I'll be sending you guys information on that. And then we will be discussing that a little bit in the next August agenda as well, with that coming up. And it's an event where we try to encourage our elected public officials during a particular week time window to definitely take the bus, and then share your experience. It's sort of like a bus experience thing, trying to raise awareness of non-drivers, people who choose to ride or need to ride the buses. So that'll be coming up. Does anybody have anything else that needs to be brought up before we adjourn?
Today.
Okay, if nothing else, would someone like to bring a motion? Yep. Okay, David.
I got something for maybe Cheryl.
Okay.
Possibly, or whoever has the Scout website.
Yes.
How, like on Saturday, the buses there wasn't enough drivers, so all the routes were way behind. So how do we find out, or do they put them on the day ahead or the same day or what? Or how's that work? So we know.
So the morning of the affected, generally, the morning that a route is affected, there's an alert put on the website.
Okay, so pretty much every day then. Okay.
And also it goes out on Facebook. If you get Facebook notifications, I see them coming across my Facebook notifications.
Oh, well, I don't have that. I didn't.
Okay.
Don't have that on.
That's okay.
No,
but then the alerts go up the morning of the affected routes. When there are shortages, they go up. Do they go up first thing in the morning, Cheryl?
Sorry, yes.
Okay.
So
all right.
So on the weekends they go up before the first run at 8 o'clock. Okay, so I know. Thank you.
All right. Any other questions? That was a good one to bring up too. All right. If no other questions, would someone like to bring motion forward to adjourn?
I make a motion that we adjourn the meeting.
Okay. Any seconds?
John,
Okay. All right. It's been moved and seconded. The meeting be adjourned. All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed, same sign. Meeting is adjourned. Remember to like and subscribe to the YouTube channel for Skagit Transit. And we shall be talking to you all in August, and I'll be sending out emails. And I appreciate everybody's participation today. And thank you, Cheryl, for all your work. Rogelio for getting this all up.
thank you, Judy, for leading the meeting.
Talk to y'all later.
Bye now.
Bye.